How did Geralt and Yennefer first meet? What was the occasion, and why Dandelion has his hands all over it again? The last, sixth short story of the first Witcher book answers these tricky questions. The story opens up while Geralt and Dandelion are fishing. Geralt does most of the work, while the bard plays the songs. They are not very successful, and together with their lute, they pull out an old jar. Dandelion claims this is a jar with a genie. Geralt is amused by this idea. Not for long though. The genie comes out with a huge, 6 feet head sphere with no nose, and more like a beak on his face. Dandelion is keen to say his wishes in order to get something out of this genie. While saying his third wish, Genie grabs him by the neck and starts to squeeze his throat. Geralt immediately comes to help, casts an art sign, and the genie drops Dandelion with a bang. They survive, but the poet is heavily injured. Witcher and the bard approach the town of Rinde, but the local guard says they cannot pass through during the night. Geralt tries to persuade them, since Dandelion's injury is critical. They refuse. Fortunately, Geralt meets a group of men outside of the city walls. One of them, an elf, claims that if Dandelion is poisoned, he can help him with an elixir. They try this treatment, but observe that most likely it's the spell what's doing harm to Dandelion, with also his vocal cords being in danger. The elf, Chiridion, says he knows a Novigrad merchant is staying in the town. His name is Buberand, and has a sorceress staying at his house now, who could possibly help Dandelion with this matter. Her name is Yennefer of Vengeberg, but as he's articulating her name, he makes a suspicious grimace, and says he should not be overly trusted. The next morning, once the gate opens, Geralt goes to the house of the merchant. Almost everyone is in the house, asleep, excluding some of the guards. Geralt sneaks in, stuns a few men with a couple of hits, and sneaks into the sorceress's chamber. Yennefer is half asleep, and thinks it's Buo, and asks for a juice he should have brought her. She agrees to help Geralt with a condition, but firstly she commands him to take a bath, as she will do to herself. With her very on-point humor, she says that she can not only tell age of his horse, but also the color of it. During the bath, which is a scene very typical for Sapkowski, Yennefer observes some of the Witcher's ability, about the Witcher's heart rate, adrenaline, and all of that. Overall, Yennefer is mostly poking at Geralt the whole time during the bath. Then she finally decides to work, and since she claims she cannot walk the streets of the town because of her being persecuted by the crowd, she teleports together with Geralt to what should be the location where Dandelion stays, which is at the elf's cousin's house. Yennefer heals Dandelion, but she demands to use Dandelion as a bait to capture the genie. Geralt refuses to involve Dandelion, but she paralyzes Geralt with a spell without any hesitation. Before Geralt can break free, he passes out and wakes up in a cell with the elf Chiridion. He doesn't understand how he ended up there. Chiridion tells Geralt that Yennefer enchanted him into rampaging through the town, punishing anyone who had ever insulted her, including town councillors. Geralt and Chiridion are brought before the town's mayor and head priest, but the proceeding is interrupted by Dandelion appearing through a magic portal and proclaiming Geralt's innocence. There is a chaos outside. Yennefer has lured the genie to the town, and she is trying to capture it and harness its power. The genie is stronger than expected, and she is losing the hold of it, which is threatening to destroy the town. Geralt tries to pull Yennefer to safety, but she insists on binding the genie, although she does offer to get Geralt to safety with a teleport. After a fight, Geralt realizes that the genie is bound to him, who last held a seal to its urn. It granted his first wish by obeying the exorcism, granted his second by killing one of the guards beating him in the prison, and is now awaiting his third and last wish. Yennefer shouts at him to say the third wish. In that tense moment, Geralt is looking into her eyes. He suddenly knows. He knows her history and what she was before she became a sorceress. A hunchback. As quickly as he can tries to forget this thought in fear that she would discover what he now knows. Genie opens up the roof of the house where the fight is going on and stretches his paws towards Yennefer. Geralt uses his wish in an unknown way that manages to save Yennefer, and the genie escapes. They wake up in the ruins, and Yennefer tells Geralt she heard the wish, and she's very surprised why he bounded himself to her by the wish. And that's the reason why the genie couldn't kill her. They kiss, and they make love. He calls her Yen for the very first time. This was the story how Geralt and Yennefer first met. Thank you for listening it. Feel free to subscribe, since I'll see you again in a few days with another story about Geralt the Witcher.